Welcome to Talking Crue, an unofficial Motley Crue podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Humphrey, where I talk all things in the world of Motley Crue. This is episode 124 this week, Union, the Blue Room album review. But first, this week in Motley news, not a whole lot of it, but some. John 5 announced on last Friday, right after I hit the record button, that he will do a solo tour in November in Mexico. So check out john5.com for those tour dates, ticket information, and all that stuff. I think this is absolutely great. He's taking his solo tour in Europe in May and then hitting Mexico in November. 40 years ago, on March the 3rd, 1986, Motley Crue played its final show of the European Theatre of Pain tour in Paris, France. So check out this set list here. See if you catch it like I did. So it starts off with In the Beginning. Looks That Kill is when the band takes the stage. Use It or Lose It. Shout at the Devil. 10 Seconds to Love. Fight for Your Right. Home Sweet Home, Red Hot, Mick Mars's guitar solo, Keep Your Eye on the Money, Louder Than Hell, Tommy Lee's drum solo, Too Young to Fall in Love, The Icon Song, Live Wire, Smoke 'Em in the Boys' Room. Then we get to the first encore, Helter Skelter. Encore number 2 is Jailhouse Rock with special guest Phil Collen of the guitar player for Def Leppard. I think this was an amazing show. I'd love to see this or hear a bootleg copy of this show. So yeah, if you know that or have a copy or whatever, write me a comment down below. Was you there in Paris, France to see this? And yeah, I think this is great. This would be an absolute must-see show. Nikki Sixx is in the news. He answered some questions last night. Someone asked about 2026. He said he's excited for the Motley Crue shows and many of his new projects that he is working on. Again, I think this is fantastic. Can't wait to see what he's cooking up, especially this animation and now toys. Plus, the last I read that when he was tweeting on Twitter, that he was working on a book as well. So yeah, all that, yeah, bring it on. I want to see it. I can't wait. And that's it in Motley news this week. On a sad part, my cousin, who I've mentioned, I actually have a bunch of cousins. 2 of them I've mentioned on this show, but not really in name. He passed away last Sunday, and so I'm dedicating this show to my cousin Jason, whose funeral was today. I talked briefly about him in episode 4 of the Shout at the Devil episode album review, where I mentioned that me and my cousins on my dad's side was talking about music, and he said that he had the Motley Crue Shout at the Devil album, and if I wanted to hear it. And I said, yeah. So we all sat, for some reason, in a circle on the floor, and he put the cassette tape in a tape player and pushed play, and I hear In the Beginning. Scared the daylights out of me. His mom, my aunt, and she opened up the door and said, "What you boys in here doing?" And that really scared us. So yeah, so this is a sad time, and I'm actually dedicating this episode in his memory. So rest in peace, Jason. This is episode 124, Union, the Blue Room album review is what I'll be talking about this week. On this week's episode, I'm just going to continue on, as I look down on my phone here, continue on with what I'm calling the John Corabi series. I started it on episode 120, John Corabi Angoria Songs Review. Episode 121 was the Scream, Let It Scream album review. Episode 122 was Union debut album review. And last week was episode 123, Union Live in the Galaxy album review. And that leads us into this week, Union, the Blue Room album review. I don't have this album. I remember when it came out, I looked everywhere. Back then, we had a lot of record stores back in those days, and I looked everywhere. And I would ask about, oh yeah, we're getting it in, and it never appeared. So I kind of gave up on it. And thanks to YouTube, I listened to it quite a lot here lately, especially during this John Corabi series. So here we go. So let's go timeline on this album. After the Union tour, they released their live album, Live in the Galaxy. The band went right into the studio to start the year 2000 with a brand new studio album. So let's go info and facts on the album. They recorded the album at A&M Studios in Hollywood, California, and The Blue Room in Woodland Hills, California. Producers was Bob Marlett, that's Marlette, who has worked with Alice Cooper, Black Sabbath, Quiet Riot, Rob Zombie, Saliva, Shinedown, plus a tons more. The other co-producers of this album is John Corabi and Bruce Kulick. Bruce, easy for me to say, has a co-lead vocal on a song called Dear Friend. They stayed with Spitfire Records, who I mentioned about last week, who was part of the distributors of the live album. The album was released on February 22nd, 2000, so the album's 26 years old. That's hard to believe. They released 2 singles, Do Your Own Thing, Who Do You Think You Are. Neither one got music videos like the debut album. I mean, again, like I said, I kind of see it. Why bother? They weren't going to get played on MTV or VH1 or VH1 Classic or any of that stuff. So why waste the money? So there's your info and facts. So now let's go track by track on Union, the Blue Room. As I pull it back up. There we go. Alright, so song number 1 is Do Your Own Thing. Slowly builds up with some distortion, then kicks right in. Fantastic groove and drum beat as John sings. Great lyrics, catchy chorus, fantastic guitar solo by Bruce. This song is an absolute rocker, so definitely check this out. I loved it. It's so good. Song 2 is Dead. They go right into this. It just kicks right in. Great guitar riff as John sings. Great lyrics, catchy chorus, great guitar solo by Bruce. So there's my notes. It has this almost kind of breakdown towards the end. Then John says, down. Really cool, the word down. Really cool, love it. Song 3 is Everything's Alright. Begins with a guitar riff, then builds up, then slows back down. So it's kind of a roller coaster kind of a song. As John sings, which he sounds fantastic on this. Great lyrics, catchy chorus. There's this stop with just a guitar riff, and then it leads into a lead guitar spot for Bruce, and then right back into the chorus. It's so freaking good. Song 4 is Shine. Starts off with acoustic guitars, and it has some organ playing in it as John sings, and it kind of picks up on the chorus. To me, this song has a little more of a October morning wind sound to it, but a little bit harder edge. Cool lyrics and chorus. It's a good song. Song 5 is Who Do You Think You Are? Begins with this heavy guitar riff. Sounds like something that could have been on MC94. Then it kicks right in as John sings. Great rock and groove, and it slows a little bit as John sings. Fantastic lyrics and chorus. Song 6 is Dear Friend. Starts off with some guitar playing as Bruce sings, with a little bit of orchestra kind of effect going on in the background. Then it kicks in as John sings. Comes in and starts singing, and it kind of comes back down again. It's a kind of a roller coaster kind of a song. Fantastic lyrics and chorus. Love this. It's actually really good. Song 7 is Do You Know My Name? Begins with this heavy groove as John sings, great lyrics and great chorus. Then it has this really rocking part towards the end that leads into a fantastic guitar solo. Absolutely fantastic song. Definitely check out this one. Do You Know My Name? Song 8 is Hypnotized. Starts off with some guitar playing as John sings. Then it picks up. Great rocking song, great lyrics, catchy chorus, great guitar solo by Bruce. Then it slows way down, then back in, and then it comes back up into the chorus. It's really good. I like this song a lot. Song 9 is I Wanna Be. Begins with some soft guitar playing, then some soloing over the top of that. Then John starts to sing. Great lyrics and chorus. Great freaking song. Song 10 is No More. Just kicks right in as John sings. Great lyrics, catchy chorus, great guitar solo, but it almost kind of goes all over the place. Kind of really hard to describe. It's going this way, and then all of a sudden it takes a right turn, and then back to the left. It's kind of, I don't even know. I hate the word hodgepodge, but that's the first thing I think of. Then it goes back to the chorus. It's a good song, but it's not that great for me. And that is the album, Union, the Blue Room. Now, I'm going to go a little more info and facts on you. The band went right on tour. They called it the Blue Room Tour. And then after the tour, they went on hiatus. John would go on and do some solo stuff and a couple of supergroups. One of them you do definitely know, called the Dead Daisies. The other two I'll talk about in a few weeks. Bruce went on solo. In fact, John Corabi helped sing a song or two on a couple of Bruce's solo albums. He also joined Grand Funk Railroad. Now he's back doing solo stuff, playing Kiss 80s music. Brent would go on to join with Slash. He also played with Theory of a Dead Man. Vince's solo band, which again I've talked about before. Vince's Live at the Whiskey. I talked about that in the Vince Neil series. Plus a tons more. James Hunting went on to be in Vince's solo band, just like Brent. Same album, Live at the Whiskey. And he's played with David Lee Roth. So there's a little more info and facts on this. So let's rate this album 1 out of 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I'm actually giving this album a 9. I like this album a lot. If you listen to the debut album, and then you listen to this, you can hear the band grew with each other. They got comfortable with each other. Yeah, the songwriting is a lot better, in my opinion, on a lot of these songs. So yeah, that's why I'm giving it a 9. So least favorite song or songs, I actually have 2 least favorites, Shine and No More. Favorite song or songs, there's quite a few. Do Your Own Thing, Everything's Alright, Who Do You Think You Are, Dear Friend, Do You Know My Name, and Hypnotized. I love that song. And that leads us into homework this week. You rate this album 1 out of 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What's your favorite song or songs, and what's your least favorite song or songs off of this album? And that's it for this week. Next week, I'm going to continue on with the John Corabi series with episode 125, Union Do Your Own Thing Live DVD review. It's the first and only DVD. I'll talk about that next week. If you know anybody that's a Motley Crue fan, likes to talk about Motley Crue, hear about Motley Crue, send them this way. Hit that share button, copy the link, and send it to them. Tell them go on Google, Firefox, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and type in Talking Crue. All the episodes will pop up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button yourself. Give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it and helps out the podcast a whole lot. I want to welcome all the new subscribers on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. Welcome aboard. It is absolutely fantastic to have you here. I want to thank everybody who gives me thumbs ups and those homework questions. Love that as well. And that's it. I will see you guys next Friday. And you just took a ride on the wild side.